Hello! So today we will be talking about history and mainly about World War I and the finish of World War I. After World War I ended, there was actually a 20-year period before World War II. That's the moment in time that I would like to discuss and talk about. In order to think about that, you have to think way back to Germany and Hitler. Do you remember all those things about World War II? A lot of people probably look back and remember learning about it and feel like Hitler completely caused World War II. However, there are many different reasons and events that occurred that caused each other and set off a chain reaction that truly started Hitler becoming the Chancellor and starting World War II. So let's go back a little bit, because World War I ended June 28th, 1919, when a bunch of different countries came to a meeting to discuss what happened. This meeting was called the Treaty of Versailles. This is a very important treaty within history. And at this treaty, we found out that France was ticked, and they wanted to punish Germany for what they have done. Most of the other countries talked and agreed as well. They discussed that Germany shouldn't be included in the treaty. So remember, like I said, France was very mad at Germany. However, America actually didn't feel the same. America didn't want to punish Germany because they just felt like punishing them would be a very, very bad idea, because they would get so angry that they would blow up and probably start a new war. So America was actually right. However, back to the point, France was pretty much the boss of the meeting and ran the meeting, so they got to decide what happened in the end. They decided to punish Germany by a few different ways. The first one is that a lot of Germany's land actually needed to be given to Poland, Denmark, and lastly, Lithuania. Therefore, Germany would shrink in size and become much smaller with landmass. And speaking of landmass. Next, their military was expected to become smaller as well as punishment in order for them to become weaker. They seized their guns and said that you cannot have them anymore. So the last punishment was that France decided to force Germany to pay them money. They decided that there would be no limit to this allowance and no time frame limit as well. They would never stop paying what they owed France for what they did. So Germany had to pay and pay and pay, which was called the Bill of, give me just one moment. The Bill of Reparations is what this punishment was called. The country decreased, the military decreased along with the guns, and also their money decreased because of this Bill of Reparations. So Germany became much weaker. During World War I, Germany actually attacked France, and France did not want that again. So they decided to draw the line and tell Germany that they would never capture us again by becoming much weaker and less powerful with this Bill of Reparations. However, is it a good idea necessarily to punish your enemies? A lot of people think that they will just continue to be your enemies and probably even start a war. They would become so mad. So it's a better idea to help your enemies and actually help build that relationship in order to help other countries develop what are called allies. However, France did not see it that way. And they thought something else of the future. So they decided to punish them. However, after this happened, this left Germany with no money, no military, or no anything really. And this created the Great Depression. Do you remember when America also had their Great Depression as well? It's pretty much like that. America was not the only country to experience a Great Depression. Many, many countries around the world have experienced a very hard time at one point or another due to, too much forgiveness or what have you, and their economy greatly declined. They were wondering what they were going to do, and along came this man called Hitler. His popularity began to just grow and grow as people heard that he was having these great ideas about how to help the Great Depression. And of course, all of the German people were very, very mad and upset about the Great Depression and needed someone to blame. They just were wondering who those people could be. And Hitler said, let's think about who has the most money and who controls all of the banks. Let's think about that. And that is the Jewish people. And he was pointing his finger at the Jewish people. So, of course, that's when all the people started to blame the Jews or the Jewish people, and his popularity really, truly began to spread. He began inviting very young kids to actually join, work for him. And in the end, he offered these benefits, including joining his military in order to help him gain the power that he wanted. And help Germany also gain the power that it wanted. Because before World War I, Germany was actually pretty on top and had some power until after World War I ended in the Treaty of Versailles. So now they were very, very mad. And the German people didn't want to feel lousy anymore. So they called on this man named Hitler. As the stories and word spread, more and more people supported Hitler. And that is when World War II began. America was right. Punishing Germany for what they, out of spite and out of enemy's sake was a very bad idea. It started World War II. However, it's truly just important to study history in order to learn from our mistakes so that we do not repeat the same mistakes as again. Thanks for a great semester, Heidi.